Tulsi Gabbard strips 37 of security clearances over Obama-ordered intel report that launched Russiagate. And she also has her own post here. So let me just read this first. I wanted to put this up here because the New York Post, they're actually going to show an article that we can get a little more details into possibly who exactly these 37 people are. So DNI Tulsi Gabbard says the following, and actually I'll size it up a little bit more so we can read it a little better here. So, being entrusted with a security clearance is a privilege, not a right. Those in the intelligence community who betray their oath to the Constitution and put their own interests ahead of the interests of the American people have broken the sacred trust they promised to uphold. In doing so, they undermine our national security, the safety and security of the American people, and the foundational principles of our democratic republic. This is why, at the president's direction and at the office of the DNI, directed the revocation of the security clearances of 37 current and former intelligence professionals who have abused the public trust by politicizing and manipulating intelligence, leaking classified intelligence without authorization, and or committing intentional egregious violations of tradecraft standards. Yeah, like fabricating an entire conspiracy that never existed in the first place. Our intelligence community must be committed to upholding the values and principles enshrined in the U.S. Constitution and maintain a laser-like focus on our mission of ensuring the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. So this image, I can't make it any bigger. Maybe over on the New York Post, they might have this. So I'm not going to read this just yet. If there isn't anything over there on the Post, then I'll come back and I'll look into this to see. But there are the 37 names on this page. And I don't think any of them are familiar to me, to be honest. They're not any huge names that I know of. But like Andrew Cedar, Andrew P. Miller, Benjamin A. Cooper, Beth E. Sanner, Brett M. Holmgren, Charles A. Kupchan, Christopher Center, Corinne A. Graff, Dilpreet K. Sidhu, Edward Gestaro, Emily J. Horn, Harry Hanna, Heather R. Gutierrez, Jamie S. Jowers, Jeffrey P. Prescott, Joel T. Meyer. That kind of sounds familiar. Joel Willett, John W. Ficklin, Julia S. Gerganis, Julia Santucci, Lauren DeJong Schulman, Luke R. Hardig, Mayor B. Bitar, Mark B. Firestein, Mary Beth Goodman, Megan F. Doherty, Michael P. Dempsey, Perry J. Blattstein, Richard H. Leggett, Samantha E. Vinograd, Sarah S. Farnsworth, Shelby L. Pearson, Stephanie O'Sullivan, Thomas W. West, Vin X. Nagayan, William J. Tuttle, and Yale Eisenstate. So those are the names. All of their security clearance has been revoked. And according to her post, some of them actually still work for the agencies. Probably not all of them, but just the way it was worded, it sounded like that sounded like that there were some that were still working in the IC, the intelligence community. So let's check out this post here from the NY Post. So Tulsi Gabbard strips 37 security clearances over Obama-ordered intel report that launched Russiagate. Today's video headlines, not interested, but I appreciate it. So the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, announced security clearances had been pulled from 37 current and former officials who abused public trust by politicizing and manipulating information, including several who were involved in a controversial Barack Obama-ordered assessment of Russian influence in the 2016 election. An ODNI memo announced that more than 36 intel professionals, including a former top aide to Obama DNI James Clapper, had either politicized or weaponized intelligence, failed to safeguard classified info, or not followed tradecraft standards. Quote, the president has directed that, effective immediately, the security clearances of the following 37 individuals are revoked, end quote, the August 18th memo stated, according to a copy obtained by the Post. Their access to classified systems, facilities, materials, and information is to be terminated forthwith. Any contracts or employment with the U.S. government by these 37 individuals is hereby terminated. Any credentials held by these individuals must be surrendered to the appropriate security officers. Let's see. The 37 include, the 37 include ex-principal deputy DNI Stephanie O'Sullivan and Vin Guyan, who both worked under Clapper while his office was producing the now discredited 2017 intelligence community assessment on Russia's preference for then candidate Donald Trump in the 2016 contest with Hillary Clinton. So here's the letter. It's much larger here. Probably even make it even larger if I full screen it, or maybe not. Oh yeah, there you go. So that's legible. Memorandum for distribution, decision, revocation of security clearances, Executive Order 13526, classified national security information, December 29th of 2009. The U.S. government security clearance system exists to protect classified national security information and to ensure that those entrusted with access to our nation's most sensitive information uphold the highest standards of integrity, objectivity, and stewardship, of which none of those names I'm sure did at all. Them being involved in fabricating information, creating intelligence that didn't exist in the first place, I would say they kind of broke that trust. It is the determination of this office that certain individuals have engaged in some or all of the following conduct undermining those standards, to include politicization or weaponization of intelligence to advance personal, partisan, or non-objective agendas inconsistent with national security priorities, failure to safeguard classified information in accordance with applicable laws, regulations, and agency policies, failure to adhere to professional, analytic, tradecraft standards, and other conduct detrimental to the trust and confidence required for continued access to national security information. The president has directed that, effective immediately, the security clearances of the following 37 individuals are revoked. Their access to classified systems, facilities, materials, information is to be terminated. Let's see, we read that. Credentials held by these individuals must be surrendered. Each agency must review the list of individuals and take the appropriate actions to comply with the president's direction. Agencies are asked to provide my office with notification as soon as the revocation is complete. So they will be following up. And those are the names that I've already read. I guess I could scroll a little bit because, I'm terrible with names. And it's bad enough that I'm terrible with names. It's even worse that I had to read 37 of them in a row. But yeah, these are the names. If you've not seen them yet, there you go. Kind of pause, I guess, if you really want to, if you're that curious. Or like I've said before, like I said in yesterday's post, I'll go ahead and I'll repost this right now. So if you want to check out my profile, it's SPAETHON. It's just like my YouTube channel, except there's an N at the end. That's my original name. But my original YouTube channel, it's not really political, so I created a new channel just to put this show on it. So anyway, and I'll repost this one as well. So is there anything else? Looks like that's it as far as, that's basically it. Decision, revocation of security clearances. As far as the printout, it's a 3-pager, and it was distributed to Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Energy, Homeland Security, the FBI, the CIA, President, the White House Council, Geospatial Intelligence Agency, National Security, Defense Intelligence, National Reconnaissance, Security for Intelligence and Security, Security for Intelligence and Analysis, Secretary for Intelligence and Analysis, the Chief of Intelligence, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. It was sent to all the higher-ups, especially those dealing with classified information. Matter of fact, I probably should actually go through this list and take a second look at it, because I'm sure there's probably at least a few titles here that I'm actually not following on X that I probably should be for this show. I'm just saying, look, most of these I'm definitely following already, but there actually might be a couple that I'm not. So anyway, Nguyen had been serving in the Trump administration as the National Security Agency's first chief responsible artificial intelligence officer. His involvement in the ICA report was first revealed by Real Clear investigations earlier this month. Several others affected by Tuesday's announcement were involved in that ICA report, while some also signed onto a September 2019 statement in support of House Democrats' first impeachment inquiry into Trump. How convenient. And anything else? Being entrusted with the security clearance is a privilege, not a right, which was said by Tulsi Gabbard. Those in the intelligence community who betrayed their oath to the Constitution and put their own interests ahead of the interests of the American people have broken the sacred trust they promised to uphold, which I believe was in her post. So yeah, they're probably gonna say basically what I already read in Tulsi Gabbard's post. Yeah, there might be a little bit more information in here if you want to go check out this article. Final product, which was supposed to provide comprehensive facts on Kremlin activities. Oh yeah, Christopher Steele. Yeah, so they're getting into the whole RussiaGate thing. As the news, they like to do that to add more words to the article. They like to go back into history and repeat the same thing over and over again in all these articles just to kind of keep people up to date with what's going on, which I can respect.